Wieboldt.
Hello. I just wanted to thank the Escondido Relay for Life Committee for inviting me and allowing me the honor of speaking with you tonight. As she did say, I'm with the American Cancer Society's Heroes of Hope, and I am a 4-year cancer survivor. And on the day I was diagnosed 4 years ago, my beloved wife, Mary, sitting right here, was out of town. And that, as any cancer survivor will tell you, that is not the day you want to be by yourself. So I called up my best friend, Bill, and spent the day with him and his wife, Pam. And we watched his grandson play baseball, Little League baseball, because the connection between us, we'd been best friends for over 30 years, and baseball was what we did. It was our passion. He was, at the time, he was the healthiest person that I knew. But 2 years later, he was diagnosed with cancer, and he passed away about a year ago. And during that last week, I ended up taking him to the last movie I ever saw, of course, a movie about baseball called Moneyball. And then I told him what may have been the last joke that he ever heard, and it was a joke about cancer in baseball that somebody had told me during the time I was going through my cancer treatment. I had chemotherapy and radiation at the same time, and it was very, very tough on me. And so the first week I was in my treatment, there was this gentleman that was walking through giving massages to people, trying to help them deal with the stress of going through this experience. And when he came up to me, he saw that I had a book on my lap about baseball that my good friend Bill had given to me. And so he looked and he said, "Oh, you like baseball?" And I said, "Well, yes, I do." And he goes, "Would you like to hear a joke about cancer and baseball?" So I kind of looked at him, and in my classic cynical ex-New Yorker way, I said to him, "Well, let's see. I'm hooked up to a chemo pole. I just threw up over myself, but yeah, let me hear a joke about cancer and baseball." So he told me this joke, and I almost fell off the chemo chair. And I realized it was the first time I had laughed or smiled since that day I was diagnosed. And it was a revelation. It really made me realize that there was far more than just pain and suffering through this experience, that it was everything that life has to offer us. Tears, laughter, joy, sorrow. So I ended up telling my friend this joke, and as a way of paying tribute to my friend Bill, I would like to tell this joke right now. There were these two San Diego Padre pitchers, and they were warming up in the bullpen together. And one of them had a really serious look on his face, so his friend looked at him and asked him what was wrong, and he said that he had just been to the doctor, and the doctor had given him a diagnosis of cancer and said it was very serious. So his friend was devastated, and he told him, he said, "Listen, I just want you to know that I'll be here for you, that your whole team will be here for you." He said, "But I do have this, I just have to ask you something." He said, "If the worst happens and you end up passing away," he said, if you can all do it, please try to contact me because I need to know if there's baseball in heaven." So his friend looked at him and said, "Well, I'll see what I can do." So a few months later, he did pass away, and a few weeks after that, the pitcher that was still left, he was warming up by himself in the bullpen, and all of a sudden, from out of the sky, he heard his friend's voice, and the guy said, "Hey, Jim, this is Bob," and he said, "Listen, I'm up in heaven," and I said, I have some good news and I have some bad news." He said, "The good news is that there is baseball in heaven, and I am pitching today." And so his friend said, "Well, what's the bad news?" And he said, "Well, the bad news is that you're pitching Tuesday." Now, there are some people that may think that telling a joke like that during a remembrance events like this Luminary may be out of place, but I don't believe that. All my memories of my friend Bill are of joy and laughter. He had a great sense of humor. We shared jokes together all the time, and so my memory, even though I have the sorrow of not knowing that he's not with us anymore, all the memories are joyful, and so I feel that that was the way that I wanted to remember him. And I also wanted to leave you with a poem that I read at his memorial service. And I would like to dedicate this to each and every one of the loved ones that we are remembering tonight. There are stars whose radiance is visible on Earth, though they have long been extinct. There are people whose brilliance continues to light the world, though they are no longer among the living. These lights are particularly bright when the night is dark. They light the way for mankind. So this is my tribute to Bill, and I wanted to thank you very much for allowing me to speak tonight.